Hi everybody, how are you? Let me fix this light. There we go. It's Julie Salva at Stand and Shine with Julie Salva. I'm just practicing because I got to do my gas video later on today, and you know that's what I always say. But anyway, today is day 3 of the Christmas in July craft along that I have been doing with Joey Hartman and Alejandra Gomez. And I'm going to tell you, I have loved working with them. I have really enjoyed working with them. You know, one of the things that I like the best about this business, this career, that I've been doing for 22 years now, is partnering with other demonstrators. I mean, this is a great group of women. Last night I had a bingo class with Lisa Bowden, one of my great North American Stampin' Show buddies. I'm doing this with Alejandra and Joey. I've partnered with Rhonda Wade and Deb Harrison and Melissa Faust and just so many people. Hey, Pam. And it's a lot of fun. And I actually love it because I can bring you different looks, right? I can show you different things. So that has been so fun with doing this with you guys. So, hi, Georgia. Georgia was on bingo last night with us and just lovely. First time I'd ever seen her in person, if you will. So anyway, but we got to get started because we got to get these projects going. So I'm going to review with you real quick. I'm going to start off with a project. This one has not been part of the tutorial, but I did do it as my winning Great North American Stampin' Show card last week. And so there you go. That's that one. So certainly it can be done with the Jolly Holly because that's what did it. And if you want to know how to do it, just go back and watch that video on YouTube. I have a Stamp and Shine YouTube channel, and so you'll find that there. Oh, George is looking forward to next month. Yeah. Okay, and then these are the cards that we have done that are all included in the tutorial. Hi, Nicole from Iowa. Oh, good colors. Hi, Jen. Okay, we did this one. Designed by Joey, and Jen Drake gave us tips on how to make our poinsettia really pop. We did this, well, both of these, we just changed the DSP. So it really is just a matter of which one you like best. This was on day 1. Both of these were day 1. Then we did this gift card holder with the belly band. And inside, you got your little pocket here that you can put your gift card in your note. So we did that. And then yesterday we did these projects. This is an easy fun fold. It goes down like that. And then your message would be on the back. And again, all these dimensions and everything are included in the tutorial, and I shared them in the video as well. Hi, Betty. Okay, we did this card. Okay, I love that with the mixing of the paper. And then we did this great box and little tag. Love this box. Pam Vandiver, if you're still out there, this is the box I told you about today. So Pam Vandiver out there who said hi. Well, first of all, you need to know, she's one of the Pams. I have 2 Pams that both help me, and Pam Vandiver is one of the Pams. Both of them are my friends, though. So they were friends before they became helpers. And it's important to me to keep them as friends. But Pam Vandiver also makes jewelry. And so I was telling her today, she took me to pick up my car. The flat tire got fixed from yesterday. This would be a great box for her to put her jewelry in. And yeah, those are the 3 from yesterday. So we did, or if you purchased the kit ahead of time from me, this is the box that you got. And inside you got a little pillow gift. Whenever I do a class, I like to include a little treat, a little pillow gift. Got this hand cream. So anyway, so that's where we're at. So today we're going to finish up the last 3 projects. So this has been a pretty quick event because it's only been 3 days. We've shown 3 projects each day, but it's been good. Georgia, that's a great question. I used Velcro on the box, but you can use a magnet. Either one will work. Okay, either one will work. So totally up to you. Okay, so what we're doing today are 3 more projects. These are the last 3. I will tell you, I have already been talking with Joey and Alejandra, begging them to let me work with them again because they're just so good. And so fingers crossed that maybe in September we'll have we'll have another craft along heading your way. So, okay, so couple things. What is new in the Stampin' Up! World? Well, we are working on all new products coming out. You guys will get to see them. Well, demonstrators get to see them, some today, and then August 5th, and we'll be working on designing and all sorts of stuff so that in September, you guys will have great fall and Christmas and Thanksgiving and Halloween and so many fun things to work with. So it's a busy day, but it's an exciting day. So, okay, so we're gonna get started. Let me see if there's any comments over here on the computer that I need to respond to, because you know I'm all about responding. Ooh, Georgia, thank you. Look, Georgia's such a good helper there. On August 5th, a sale is coming up on the new In Colors, so an In Color sale. But I will have a newsletter out to you. Make sure you're on my newsletter list that will have all my August classes, my August calendar, any specials that I know of, all those things. Okay, so let's get going. Fiona is laying under the desk, so hopefully, she'll be, well, you know what? She's Fiona. Even if she gets up and barks, it's okay. So, oh, Pat, thank you. Pat says that she loves these sessions. I do too. I do too. I'm going to do more, even if it's not like necessarily for a craft along or something like that. And don't forget, y'all, tomorrow night at 6 is the Great North American Stampin' Show over on YouTube. And you can see my project and then the projects from Lauren, Lisa, and Jody as well. So, okay, let's get started. We will start off with a card. All right, so I'm going to turn the camera and get it. Ooh, goodness, that's not going to work. Get everything all lined up. Hold on. I am committed in August. You guys have to hold me accountable. I am committed in August. There we go. To do to learn how to do the fancy thing where, you know, demonstrators just press a button and then you see their face and you see their hands. I am determined for that. So that's y'all's job. Hold me accountable to it. Send me reminders to make me do it. Okay. Let me get my light here fastened up and we will get going. Oh, Brenda, my goodness. She said she had to get off work so she could watch me. Brenda, I am certain that there are other advantages to getting off work than this, but I will take that compliment. Absolutely, I will take it. Okay, so let's go with the card. So these cards I actually do have pre-made because I designed them, so they're mine. So this is the first one, okay, Bright and Happy Christmas Wishes. And then on the inside, we have the sentiment. So this is a really easy fun fold. And you guys have probably seen it, but I've got the measurement, so I want to make sure that you know how to do it. I designed this one specifically because everything we've done has really been so elegant. And I thought, you know, I would just like to do a card that is a little bit more down home. And what screams down home more than gingham? And so I love the gingham. So if you pre-ordered the kit, you've got your supplies in your envelope. You can go on and take it out. And here's what we've got. If you didn't have your notes ready to take them, we've got a card base that's just 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay. Oh, this is a good one, Brenda. Thank you. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm using real red. So I jumped out of the cherry cobbler in the old olive. I jumped out of that family a little bit, pulling some real red. Okay. So that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. This piece, real red, is cut to 8 1/2. Okay. 8 1/2 by 3. And we're just going to go on while we're here and fold it in half. You can score if you want. If you did, you'd score it at 4 1/4. But I'm just going to score it by 3. Now, let me just remind you guys, some of us might be like, you know what, I know that, I've seen that fold, but we got to remember, we work in a, and it's crafters, I'm not talking about as demonstrators, I'm just talking crafters. We work in a world where we see a lot of Stampin' Up! Things. But let's remember, the people that we're sending cards to and the people that we're teaching and all of that, this is new for them. So don't ever feel like, oh, everybody has seen that, because I can promise you they haven't. Okay, they haven't. And remember, this is why we make cards, to send them, right? So this piece of old olive, I'm going to grab this because I have my dimensions written down. This piece of old olive is cut to 2 3/4 by 4. And I have run it through the embossing folder that coordinates with our Jolly Holly bundle. So again, this is the Jolly Holly set. It's a hybrid set, which means it includes, if you get the bundle, an embossing folder, and this is holly and poinsettias here. Well, okay, let me just say this. It's supposed to be holly, but I think a couple of them look like poinsettias. I really do. I'm going public with that right now. And then you've got your dies. This is your hybrid die that will fit inside the embossing folder. I showed this on, let me get that in there, day 1. And look at me. It'll fit so easily. Very, very easily. There we go. There we go. Okay, there we go. That's it. All right, that's it. So that when you run your paper through this piece and the folder, what will happen is that you will have an embossed and a bit of a cut card. So that's what the hybrid is. This set also includes, as we know, these great frames, and then it die cuts out some of the pieces. And again, you guys might be like, Julie, it's so messy in your kit. I do it on purpose because if I have extra die cut pieces, I just keep them in there. I've told you all that before. So anyway, all right, so I've gone on and embossed this, okay? Gone on and done it. Hello, Jennifer from Canada. And I will adhere this. This is the great thing about this card. This fold is so very easy, but again, just a little bit different. Okay, so got that. Now, what you're going to do is in a minute, you're going to adhere this part right in here, the center right in there. But the first thing that you're going to do is take 2 DSP pieces. I told you I used the gingham, and I cut these to 1x4. So I've got 2 of them that are cut to 1x4. The reason I say we're going to do this first is because this is going to help with spacing when we put that center part in. So let me adhere. Oh, it hurts me to cover up that beautiful paper on the other side, but you'll see that again. So I'm going to adhere this on either side. When I get these 2 adhered, then that really helps me space that middle piece. And that's a good tip for anything. I know one of my Stamp and Shine Card Club cards this month, Pat and Jennifer got it, I know. Anyway, one of them has 4 strips of DSP, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the tip that I gave is that if you do the side pieces first, it really helps with spacing in the middle. So file that away in your tip section, okay? So this, which is really our card, okay, this is going to go right here, and we're just going to center it. We're just going to center it right in there. Look how easy this is. I mean, really, this card, I mean, the bones of it are done. You know, now we're going to do some more things, of course, but the bones of the card are done. So file this away as one of your easy cards that you would make. Now, I will say tear and tape will be your friend when you adhere this piece. I just waiting on that shipment to come in. I know I've told y'all that a couple times now, but it's true. So, okay, so there's the bones of the card. Now, on the inside, we're going to do some stamping. Okay, so I'm going to stamp on the inside. May the spirit of the season do something. Ah, here we go. May the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love. That's what the spirit of the season is doing. Hope, happiness, and love. And I am going to stamp that in, you know what? On my sample, I stamped it in real red, but my real red is downstairs for another class. So I'll just stamp it in Old Olive, okay? Old Olive. Things are great, not a worry. And I'm stamping it on this white piece. Now this white piece is also cut to 2 3/4 by 4, okay? 2 3/4 by 4. This is what is gonna go on the inside. So I'll stamp here, and I'm going to stamp it in the center because I'm going to do a little bit. There we go. May the spirit of the season bring you hope, happiness, and love. And then what I'm going to do is get this Memento Black. Guys, I think most of you all are pretty seasoned stampers, but if you're not, if you just happen to stumble in here or you're just investigating this or anything like that, Memento Black is a definite in your arsenal. It's a definite. You're going to want to have it, okay? So I'm going to stamp the holly leaves. I'm going to stamp 2 of them in Memento Black here and here. And then I'll color them in real quick, okay? So a lot of times I do my coloring ahead of time, but this was one I couldn't. But I am going to stick to, I guess I am adding in 1 new set of blends. We're going to be pulling in that real red. Up until now, we have done nothing but cherry cobbler and olive, really. Pulled that darling duckling. We pulled in a little bit of that. So I'll do these real quick. I wanted to tell you something, but I have to think. Oh, let me switch my glasses. I have to think about what it is. So I know, so Georgia reminded me of the special that begins August 5th. Okay, August 5th. And I'm using the dark right now in the center, by the way. August 5th, I know what it was, is when we have the In Colors sale going live. What I wanted to talk to you about, have you guys seen, so there's been a study, and the study is about what they call grandma hobbies. Have you seen that? Have you heard of this phrase, grandma hobbies? And now I would call it Meemaw hobbies, because that's what I called my grandmother. What did you guys call your grandmother? Or if you are a grandmother, what are you called? I'm curious about that. Anyway, but Meemaw hobbies. And the way that the Meemaw hobby thing worked is that the study has shown that Meemaw hobbies are coming back in. And they're talking about like embroidery, crochet, needlepoint, cross stitch, quilting. For those of us in a crafting world, we might be like, well, those never went out. But for a lot of people, evidently, they did. So my question to you is, A, do you do any Meemaw hobbies? Or B, what did you call your Meemaw? Those are two things that I want to know while I'm coloring here. Because I think, Jen Drake, you're not a rookie. You're not a rookie. But I do want to know about that because I think that's really interesting. I wonder why Meemaw hobbies are coming back. I think it's because we live in such a tumultuous world right now with just so many things going on worldwide. There's a lot of uncertainty on different things at times. And I think that there's a feeling of peace and comfort that comes with that. So that's my thought. Kind of brings us back to a gentler time, at least mentally. So I know for me, though, I mean, I love paper crafting just because it relaxes me. Hey, Gayla. Oh, Deborah quilts, and her grandkids call her Momo. Lucia and Grandma, and I knit. Okay, Jen, tell me about Lucia. Is that like a name from your heritage? Tell me about that. I want to know. See, when I ask questions, I want to know. I get nosy. My son and daughter-in-law, Mark, they will tell you that. I get nosy. Okay, so while you guys are responding, this goes in the center. We're just going to center it right in there. All right. So now I've got my front almost done, but not quite. Okay, it's a Polish derivative of grandma. Got it. Dad's was grandma. Mom's was Grandma Tatum. I got it. You guys were in Kentucky. Mama. Knit, crochet, clay, beading. Your grands call you honey or Grammy. I am not a grandmother right now. I think about that sometimes, though. If I ever become one, I'm like, I wonder what my name will be. I would love to be Meemaw. I love both of them. I have Meemaw Williamson and Meemaw Baker. And after a while, Meemaw Williamson kind of evolved just to Gran. My mom was nanny to Matt. She wanted to be Granny because she had a granny that she loved. And she wanted to be Granny. But Matt was the first grandchild and all. And so Matt used to call her Nanny because he couldn't do the Granny part. So he called her Nanny. So she was Nanny. But I would love to be Meemaw because I think that, I just love my mind so much. But Jackie has a Meemaw. And so I can see that could be tricky, because she has special memories with her Meemaw too, so we'll see. Pepper, crochet, cross-stitch, embroidery. She taught herself. Have taught my granddaughter to make cards, and I'm teaching her embroidery. I love that. Pam, was that Gin or Gin? And Brenda's granny mom. I love that. Yeah, isn't it just nice to just think about those things again, think about those people that were so special to us? I didn't intend for this to be a reminiscent time, but I love that it is. Okay, bright and happy Christmas wishes. I stamped there for the sentiment. And here's something that I did, and I don't know if I don't think I invented this. I invent nothing except mistakes. The second one, Moisey Mommy. Moisty Mammy. I like that, Georgia. Yeah, I invent mistakes. But, and I didn't invent that. But what I did invent in my mind, I'm going to call it an invention of mine. I cut a little strip of real red. By the way, this basic white piece is 1/2 by 3, and then I trimmed it off. Then this little tiny real red piece, it's just a 1/2 inch by 3 as well. And what I'm going to do is put some adhesive on the bottom of my strip here, and then line this up so just just a bit peeks out, not a lot, just a little bit. Okay, so I lined it up evenly on that side, and then I'm going to take my scissors and diagonal that there. So it gives you a little bit of I don't know, a mat, but not totally. What do I want my grandkids to call me if ever I have grandkids? And I'm not saying that in a smart way. You know, you never know. I bet my mom and dad thought it was going to be never when Matt came along. Well, like I said, I would like to be Meemaw because that's what I love so much. But I don't think I will be because I certainly don't want to intrude on Jackie's Meemaw. But, so I don't know. Some of my friends who are named Julie or JJ or Juju, I don't necessarily want to be that, I don't think. When I was working, I was an academic counselor back in the day. Side note, guys, only put your dimensionals or your adhesive on half of this because this is going to overlap a little bit, okay? If you put one here, it's going to glue the card shut. So, but when I was working, the gentleman that I worked with, I was an academic counselor at the University of South Carolina. I don't know if you guys ever knew that about me. I was a high school teacher, an English teacher by trade. But, man, I'm just giving you all the stories now. But I was an academic counselor. And back to my mini dimensional here. And I worked with the football team and the basketball team, the men's basketball team, and the men's soccer team. And they call me Mama Sal, S-A-L, like Salva, Mama Sal. I don't know if that could be something. You know, I have a couple of friends who are nanas, and I like that, you know. So we'll see. We'll see. It'll be my first grandchild whenever that does happen, if it happens. And, you know, so I don't know. We'll see. They will be large and in charge. Okay, last thing we've done this every day. I'm pulling my my gems up, and I'm going to put the clear ones on here. I'm not going to put the cherry ones. The cherry ones would work though. That's the fun thing about the Stampin' Up! Gems, and I don't know like how or why, but I feel like a lot of times they adapt to whatever color paper you're working with, especially if they're clear. But I think if the color is close, it adapts as well. And then I'm going to put a single one right there for that one. Okay, now I got to do, all right, I got to get one more. It's like, I got to get it symmetrical. But that's good. All right, let me look at these comments. Cindy's. My kids call my mom Meemaw, and they adored her. She didn't live to meet her grandchildren, but my daughter asked me if I would be a Meemaw. Oh, that's so sweet. 2 weeks after the baby was born, Megan came and asked if I... See, that's what I think, Cindy. Would I be Mimi? Because there's only one Meemaw. That exactly expresses what I'm talking about, Cindy. Because I love that we all have good memories of our Meemaws. I love that. So that's good. Gigi is one. Yeah, Gigi is one. So, okay. So this is this card right here. All right. It's a little more, like I said, a little bit more homey. Not as elegant, perhaps, as some of the others that we have done today. But I think there's room for all of it. So this is project number 1 today. So hope you like it. And just as a side note, I used the old olive here. That's what the real red looks like. Either works, okay? So I'll set these aside. Okay, now we're gonna do another card. Now this is something that I'm gonna be able to teach here. This is not maybe like quite as simple as that card was. This is a gift card holder that looks like a card, okay? A gift card holder that looks like a card. So this is what it looks like, all right, when we see it up front. But when you open it up, your gift card slides right in here. Right in there, you're making a little pocket, okay? So let me show you how to make this. So we're gonna start with our base. Our base is 8.5 by 5.5. So that's a cool thing. It's just easy paper here. You know, Georgia, a lot of my friends are Gigi's. Oh, Pam said Cam thought I was nice. When Pam took me to get my car today, her granddaughter Cameron was in the car. So that was sweet. All right, park the dark. And we're going to go to 4 1/4, and we are going to score. Now, a lot of times you guys know when it's just a basic card, I just fold it. I don't score, but you need to score for this one, okay? So we're going to score at 4 1/4. All right. Then this is what we're going to do. We're going to take our cutting blade, okay? And we are going to cut down to 2 3/4. 2 3/4. So I'm not even moving the card. I could if I wanted to. And I could cut with scissors if I wanted to, but then you have to use a ruler and mark it. I want you to know that on this, let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, there you can see. You see these markings over here? They mean something. So when I say we're going to cut down to 2 3/4, I'm going to go to that 2 3/4 mark. And I know you'll be like, well, how do you know that you're there? Well, when you look at your cutting blade here, okay, you see that arrow there, that's downward. But you see these little lines right here? When I get that line even at the 2 3/4, that's how I know I'm there. So this is one of those tools that Stampin' Up! Has put in that I'm really grateful for because it helps me do techniques like this. So, okay, I think I'm right there at 2 3/4. I'll go back up, and now I'm going to pull this out. Now, look how easy this is, okay? If this is new to you, let me know. If it's not, that's fine too. It's hard to find new things these days, but I found one at bingo last night. And I'm going to teach it to you soon. Okay, so now I'm going to fold this down, just even with the end. And then bone fold. Get my bone fold. You know, when I was doing bingo last night with Lisa Bowden, she called it burnishing. That is the exact name for it, burnishing. It sounds far more precious than my bone fold verb, but Pam says she saw a tip to put tear and tape behind that side ruler. That's a great idea, Pam, because look, I want to show you something. So remember how I was like, can you look? Can you see it? Look at the difference, how much easier it is to see when you put something behind it. So if you did slide some tear and tape or something behind it, you'd be able to see those numbers a lot easier. That's a good tip. It's new to Georgia. Good. Okay, so I've got that folded over, and then I'm manipulating the paper here a little bit because you can think that you have it all even and scored and everything like that, but then sometimes you look at it and it's not quite. So don't be scared to kind of fold that paper and really manipulate it to get it how you want it to be. So this is what we've got. Now, what you will do is you will put some tear and tape here and here. Okay, I'll go on and just use my seal right now. Okay, the reason that those are the places you'll put them is because now that's going to hold that pocket shut, and your pocket will open right here. If you want to, you could take a 1-inch circle punch. In fact, I did it on the original one, and I got this sealed up now, but you could take a 1-inch circle punch, 3/4 inch, 1 1/4, whatever you have, right? Tip, don't ever get rid of your circle punches or your corner rounder, even if Stampin' Up! Retires them. This is the bane of my existence. Well, not really, but still, I'm dramatic. And that'll help pull that card out a little bit. You'll see what I'm talking about right here, like I did on the sample. Okay, so gift card in there. Okay, so but now let's put it together. Let's get it decorated, because that really was the hard part, and that's not even hard. So again, if you don't have the tutorial, you can get it. You know, you can purchase it for $25. You can get it for free if you place a $50 order by Friday evening, or if you place a $75 order by Friday evening, you can get the tutorial and the pre-cut kits to put all this together. All of that to say, I'm giving you the measurements anyway. You just got to write them down this way. So 8.5 by 5.5. You're going to score at 4 1/4, and then you're going to cut down to 2 3/4. And that's it. And then you'll fold this in half. So I have a piece of Very Vanilla, and I had some Very Vanilla envelopes left over, so you should have gotten those with your card. And I'm going to put this right here. This is just our typical mat size of 4 and 5 1/4. Okay, so that's inside, like so. And then on the front, I also have a piece of Very Vanilla, and it is cut down. I'm going to trim this down a little bit. It's long right here. See, that's what happens when you score over. You think you've got it exactly right. You might have to adjust a little bit, but it's not a big deal. I'm just going to you might cut an 1/8 or so off. I don't know. I think I cut more than that, but whatever. It doesn't matter. All right, good. Okay, this is going to go right here. So this Very Vanilla is 4 by approximately 2 1/4. Let me look at my directions, my own directions here. I printed them off. Very Vanilla, Very Vanilla, Very Vanilla 4, 2 5/8. Okay, so you can play around with it. It'll be fine. And then I've cut a piece of DSP. I'm going to trim this down as well. If I cut that at 2, I'll probably do that 2 5/8. I'm going to take that to 2 1/4. So, you know, here's the thing. Don't ever be scared. There we go. Look how good that is. Don't be scared to make adjustments on the fly. You know, there's no problem with that. So this is going to go right here. All right. Now, you know I like to mix my patterns up. This is cut to 4 by 2 3/4. Okay, 4 by 2 3/4. So I'm going to go on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back in my paper here because I think I cut down a little bit long. I don't like that at 2 3/4. I'm going to recut it to 3 because I don't want. See how that you see it just a little bit of vanilla there. I don't want that for this card. So I'll put this back in my pack to be used at another time. And I'll come over here and cut to 4 by 3. That'll give me a little bit more length. Good. Okay. Hi, Kathy. So I'm putting this down here. Kathy, you missed our big conversation about grandma names. So there we go. All right. So now that's my front. I like that. I like mixing the patterns, all the things. Okay. Now I've cut this out. You can see the stitching around it. This I've already cut it out. This is one of the dies in Holly Jolly. I love these right here. Love them. And finally, we're going to actually use the words Holly and Jolly. So let me grab those, bring them over here. And hey, let me tell you guys something. All right. Now this may seem, for many of you guys, it may seem like everyone knows this, but I was stamping with somebody last week who is a new stamper. Okay. And I kept pulling off the photopolymer and putting them on another block and all that stuff. And she's like, you must have so many blocks. And I said, why do you say that? She said, well, all the stamps you have. And I was like, listen, hey, sister, you don't need all the blocks. You don't need a block for every stamp. You're going to pull the stamp off and you know, switch it out. You only need a handful of blocks. But she had no idea. So let's not ever take for granted. I try not to ever take for granted that people know things that, as I say, have become really self-explanatory to us because we've been stamping for a long time. So if that's you, now you know. Okay, then I stamped my bell, colored it in, and cut it out. And you guys have had 3 days of watching me color, so that's what it is. Cherry Cobbler, Old Olive, and Darling Duckling for the bell. And then I didn't color the inside of the bow or the trim on the bell. I kind of like it like that. So I'll pop that right up here. Okay. And then I'm going to adhere this right here to the side. You can put it wherever you want. I chose to do it at the side because I wanted some ribbon on this card. So let me put that there. And notice how I only put adhesive on the bottom half, okay, because it has to open. I did cut a little strip here of the 4 by 3/4. And I'm going to put that right there. Okay. All right. So we've got that. And it opens up. Take your ribbon. Give yourself a nice long piece of ribbon. You're going to wrap it around there. You'll see in just a second. And this is that gold organdy. We've pulled metallic gold through every aspect of every one of these cards. And this is an easy bow to tie because you're just wrapping it around and tying it. I like that. Yay, I don't even really need to finagle this bow that much. That's good. Okay, so the bow there, so that's the front, okay? Jordan, you stamped since your brother died in 95. That's a long time. That's 30 years. I matched that. And you're always learning new things. Yeah, smart people come along and they make new projects. So that's that. That's the inside. I wanted to show you on the inside, and I just stamped a bell again, and I stamped Merry Christmas. So that is this project. So you learn how to make this new gift card holder. So, or at least new to some of us. Okay, and again, the gift card goes right in here. You know, I actually have a gift card right here. Let's put it in, and you can see. Here's the neat thing about gift cards too. When you're folding this over, before you put your adhesive in, make sure that you don't glue it together so that the gift card can fit in. That's important. You know, sometimes you might put so much adhesive, like you're not at your edge, that you actually mess up the gift card. So, okay, let me put that back up. All right, so project number 2 done. Okay, so we've got those. Now we're going to project number 3. Thanks, Pepper and Kathy. All right, project number 3 is a box. It is the easiest box ever. And I am not gonna lie, I have done this box. Oh, sorry guys. I don't remember for what though. I don't remember if it was Stamp and Show. Maybe it was it might have been a new catalog kickoff, but I know for me, I can always learn things more than once. So for this, you are gonna want a piece of designer series paper. Okay, you're gonna want it cut to 6. Let me make sure that is at 6 by 9.5. Okay, 6 by 9.5. And there we go. Okay, and you are going to want your image. If it is an image that is directional, like this one is, you're gonna want it to where your image is going vertically here, okay, on the 9.5 inch side. All right, you wouldn't want it where your image was laying that way. All right, now if you were doing like the plaid or something that is just a generic image, it doesn't matter. But if you have an image that is directional, you want it going vertically, okay? All right, now we are going to do some scoring. All right, I have, you know what I'm gonna do? I have this. You can take a screenshot. I'm going to hold it there, right there. If you have the tutorial, this picture is in it. If you don't have the tutorial, take a screenshot. I'm holding while we're learning how to screenshot. I haven't sung to you guys in a while. I just made that up. You're welcome. Okay. All right. So we're going to score at 1.25 inch from each side. So 1.25. Remember, when you're scoring DSP, gentle, okay? And then again, 1.25. And I'm using my measurements over here. This side actually gives you measurements up to 1.5. And I find that for me, it works better. I can hold my paper better. So 1.25. All right. Then you are going to turn the paper and you're going to score it at 1 inch. Let me move this over here. Move things, please, move. Fiona is dead asleep. She is dead asleep. She's recovering well from her surgery, but you can tell it took a bunch out of her. 1, 2.25, 5.25, and then 6.5. Okay. Okay. So let me show you the box that we're making while we're at this point. Okay. Okay. This is the box we're making. It's really pretty, right? Okay. All right. I may have made a mistake, but it doesn't matter. That's how we learn. We'll figure it out. If I've made the mistake, we'll know. So you can go on and burnish our sides, or bone fold all of our sides. Okay. I like bone folding DSP. It feels like I'm like really getting a good crease. Sometimes with cardstock, it feels like you have to beat it to death. I did make a bit of a mistake. I did. But it's going to be okay. All right. This is the mistake right now. All right. So make yourself a note. Okay. If you're crafting along with me, you've got other paper. The note is this. Remember how I said you want your image to be vertical like this? That's true. That was not the mistake. You do want your image to be vertical, but you also want it to be upside down. Okay. So you'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. So again, that's the mistake. You want your image to be vertical, but you also want it to be upside down. And you'll see what I'm talking about. It's going to be fine. I'm not worried about it. Okay. So, okay. So now we are going to cut score lines. So we're going to cut a score line, and I'm going to go on and, all right, again, a new word I learned last night, miter these corners. Lisa Bowden said that. Sounds much more professional than my word, which is triangle the corners. I'm going to triangle the corners. I'm sticking to my word, man. I like it. I'm going to triangle the corners, okay? But you can, if you want to, you can just cut a slit and you'll be fine, okay, like that. You don't have to do this little triangling of the corner that I've shared with you. I'm going to tell you one reason I like triangling the corners is because sometimes I don't cut on my slit straight. And so triangling the corners, mitering the corners gives me a little bit of wiggle room. Okay. And then again here. And the other side. Do you know how upset I am about this mistake that I've made? The answer is 0%. 0%. Because I think it's important that you guys know. I make all sorts of words up, Georgia, all sorts of words. I think it's important that you guys know that demonstrators, people that you, see, like the really good ones, not me, the really good ones, I promise, they all make mistakes. So when you're crafting and you're like, why can't I do this? You can do it. You're just going to take you a minute, okay? Then, what I'm going to do right here, I am not cutting right here. What I'm going to do is cut this diagonal. Just going to cut a diagonal end off. Okay. Oh, I am cutting right there. What was I thinking? Yeah, I am. So I'm cutting there. And then a diagonal. Okay. All right. So that's what we've got. Okay. Made a boo-boo and working on a minor fix. See, it's perfect. I'm going to tell you something. My claim to fame is that I can fix mistakes. Now, I'm not going to be able to fix this one. We're going to have an upside down image. But most times I can fix mistakes. Okay. All right. So we're almost done. We're almost done. So now we're just going to put our box together. So I am going to put some adhesive here. I'm using this. I would use tear and tape, but you've heard it any number of times. So adhesive there. Adhesive here. Okay. And then I have these two pieces. I'm going to adhere them on the inside, and I'll tell you why. Because I don't, how do I say this? If I adhere them on the outside, I have a seam now right at the front of the card. Okay? I have a seam at the front of the card. And I like my seams in the back. Or it's not the card, the box. So that's why I'm going to tuck them in. I like my seams in the back. Okay. Like Georgia says, there's no mistakes. It's a sample. Well, kind of, Georgia. I already made the sample, so it's a mistake. It's a mistake, but that's okay. And then we're just going to tuck this in. So that's why we cut these on this angle here. We're just going to use that to tuck them in. And then you've got your piece right here, this short piece right here. This is the front, okay? This is the top. So you can see how I scored it upside down, but that's okay. This side looks pretty. Hey now, maybe I'll just make that the back. I don't know. Okay, but what I did, I'm going to set it aside for just a minute. Now for this one to hold it closed, I'll go on and show you. This one I took ribbon. You could do the Velcro again right there like we did for the box that Alejandra did. You could do Velcro if you wanted to. You could do a magnet if you wanted to. But for this one, I'm just using ribbon to tie it up because I think it's pretty. So I'm just going to take my ribbon and tie a bow to it. Now for this one, you've heard me say this before, okay? This is going to come out of the image right now because it's hard with it sitting like this. So what I do is I lay it up against, you can lay it up against your tummy. You can lay it up against the girls. You can lay it up against something, but to get that first little piece of this bow tied, it's got to have resistance. So there you go. There we go. See? So I did that, and I think it looks really pretty with that. I'll trim these down, well, I'll go on and trim it down now. Trim, okay? So now it's sealed, and then I put a little label on it. And the label that I put on it, I used metallic gold, and I've got that right over here somewhere. Here it is. I used metallic gold. Okay, now this is the first time that we have stamped the word joy, right, before we cut it out. So I just want you guys to see. I've already got it stamped and cut out, but I want you to see it done so you can see how well it lines up. So I've got my joy stamp and my old olive. I think I've only used old olive today. I had, well, memento black. So that's pretty good. Got a white scrap. So I'll ink up the word joy. Nice. And then I'll take the die and I'm going to lay it right over it. And it lays really, really good. Now, I want to tell you guys something. Here's a tip for you. And many of you, I think, probably know this too. I did not know this, though, until about a year ago. So there is a product that if your dies move while you're big shotting, another verb, this Post-it note tape. Are you guys familiar with Post-it note tape? This stuff is amazing. I mean, I love this stuff because what you can do, it's tape, but the adhesive level is like adhesive of a Post-it note. So when you get your die positioned how you want it, you can take your Post-it note tape and just tape it down, and it ain't going anywhere. So you can get that stuff right off Amazon. I'll put a link in here if that's new to you. I love Post-it note tape. Love it. Pepper says that she loves it too. Good. Good. So see, you guys know about it. Good. So anyway, and then I would go through and cut that out. And what I would have is this. So I'm going to glue this to my gold foil. I could use glue dots if I wanted. I do want to use glue dots. I'm not in the mood to get sticky fingers right now. So a tip with a glue dot, this is how I first learned about them. You can take it off and roll it in your fingers. The teacher who taught me that then called them glue boogers. Like, where did that come from? But I can't let it go. And I mean, this was probably 25 years ago that I heard that. So you can take your glue dots and roll them and do that. Okay, good. And I will now plop it right there. Nice. And then I'm going to adhere it, but the same with other adhering, okay? Only going to adhere the top part. Only the top part. Okay, that's not going to work because I don't want it to, unless I put it here. If I put it here, then I could adhere all of it. But I'm putting it up on the top part there, which actually now, it doesn't even look like a mistake box, does it? Doesn't even work. Ooh, Nancy Dodge says the tape is awesome. Works well for masking. Nancy, that's great to know. Thank you for sharing that. I love that. Okay, so now we've got our box. And look, you can't even tell that bell's upside down. This side looks right. So guess what? No mistake. Never a mistake. You guys, don't tell anybody, okay? We did not make a mistake. We made this project exactly how we wanted it to be. Jen Drake, I know you have heard of Post-it note tape. You have to have, I know you've heard of Post-it note tape. I know you have. If you haven't, I'm going to put an Amazon link. Anyway, so that's the box, okay? Easy, easy box. So I'm going to bring the camera up and talk to y'all one more time. Okay, hello, backyard. I will tell you something since you're here. These are all of my special things right there. I don't know that you really need to know or care. These are some of my things that I use when I'm teaching Bible study as examples. Rhonda and I, Rhonda Way, we had these little Jesus loves you images in our last Creating for Christ retreat. We said everybody needs a little Jesus in their pocket. And then another friend of mine, Lisa Preto, she gave a group of us all these elephants because elephants are known for their support of one another and their friendship and loyalty. So those are my special things. And now you know. So, okay. So Jen says she used washi tape. That is true. Washi tape is something that works. I like this better than washi tape. I really do, because sometimes washi tape like pulls off, you know. It sticks to the paper a little bit. So, okay, a dimensional. My glasses. Jeez Louise. I forgot my hat. But I like this better, the Post-it note tape. So anyway, I'm distracted. So that's what I've got today. I've got those 3 projects. I've got my hat. Sorry about that. We missed it. So let me show you again. The box, the gift card, okay, and the, where'd it go? There it is. The easy little fun fold. So thank you for the clapping hands, Kathy Jones. Okay, so what do I have for you? I have told you that if you want the tutorial, if you want the kit, told you how to get it. You place a $75 order, you get the tutorial and the whole kit. Place $50, you get the tutorial, or buy the tutorial for $25. But I feel pretty good that I've given you guys all the measurements and stuff, so you should be okay. Now the tutorial is great though. I mean, it is. You've got the pictures and all of the different things. So if that's your world, if that's what you want. Now, and that goes through Friday. If you are not on my email list, get on my email list. I will put a link to sign you up on that, because I'm going to be sending out my August classes, and I've got, this is what I have. If you're wondering, if you're like, what do she's okay. I'd like to do something with her. So I've got, every month I have the Stamp and Shine Club that you can join. And that is a club very similar to the clubs that you may have heard of. Oh, you're welcome, Jen. You'll make 8 cards. It ships to your door. I include Stampin' Up! Product, pre-cut supplies, all the things. I'll put a link to that as well. So I have the Stamp and Shine Club. I have a Creating for Christ project that I do with Rhonda Wade. And this month I also have a really fun class coming up. I showed a sneak peek last night. I'll show you guys one as well. But I'm going to do a class to go with the Scenic Adventure set. And I want to show you this card. I love it. I love it. This will be one of the projects in it. Look at that. I really like that card. So anyway, so class to go. And then I'm also offering a perfect pair stamp camp online with, what have I done? With Lisa Bowden. So I've got those things coming your way. Here is an example of a perfect pair card. So, and the stamp camp will have 8 cards and some fun folds, and then 2 3D projects as well. So again, all the details, the sign up links, everything like that is on my, you gotta be on my email. That's how you'll learn. I have every Thursday, I'm online on YouTube at 6 p.m. And that's how you find me. I'm sure something else will come up, but that's what I've got planned so far. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining in with me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all your support. You know, you guys are great. You're great. And you know, when there are demonstrators and they're like, I can't go online. I'm so nervous. I'll mess up. I'm like, I mess up on the daily. And it's always so easy because you guys are always so gracious with it. So I do not take you lightly. So, okay. Brenda, thank you. Thank all of you. Y'all have a good night. And I'll see you soon. Okay? Bye-bye.